Okay, so continuing along with ABZU, picking up pretty much right where we left off. We're in this little autumn-looking area. So let's have a look around. It's pretty fucking loud, actually. Sorry, hold on. Okay, that's better. Let's see what there is to see. That's my problem. I keep hitting W to go forward. But yeah, I think those are eagle rays. I know a girl who's obsessed with them. Looks like we have to go there to move forward. We got a hammerhead shark sculpture. See, I'm getting the hang of it. There's a chain. I noticed that earlier on the way in. Seems like it's just part of the structures. What is that? Is that Dunkleosteus? Yeah, it is. We got the sunfish here. Interestingly, they're related to the Oopa fish, which is a smaller red fish. Still kind of moon-shaped like that, but the only truly warm-blooded fish that I know of. We got manatees here. Not dugongs, you can tell by the difference in the paddle fin. And we got jacks of some kind right up there with the yellow fins. Interesting. I love this part particularly. Like all the warm colors here, the oranges and the yellows, they come together very nicely. Our movement does change to be a little bit more like a dolphin when we're moving fast. It's kind of like the whole of our body ossifies and tightens. See, for that little motion, see that? There's the eagle rays. So who even built all this? And how did it submerge itself while still staying preserved and clean and everything? Some kind of shark over there if you guys saw that. Further down. Looks like we got an ammonite shell of some kind there. Uh-huh. They are eagle rays. Oh, no. These are eagle rays. Oh, then the other ones must have been cow nose rays, the reddish looking ones. There's a lot of hyperbole going on with the color design if you guys have noticed. Like the eagle rays aren't actually red. Or sorry, the cow nose rays are not actually red, but they might suggest that color, and that's kind of taken to its extreme here. So it's not meant to be nature at its most realistic, right? It's an exaggeration of nature. Who are these? Is that more kelpfish? Yeah, it looks like kelpfish, just with a different skin. It's so hard. It's so hard. Bony fish have very interesting developmental stages, I think, because they go through larval stages, pretty similar to like insects and stuff. Obviously, they don't metamorphosize; they don't have a cocoon, but just the sheer transition of these tiny microscopic things to these large megafauna is very interesting, and it's not something you usually see. Usually, they give animals like that give birth, and they actually start out kind of big. So it's kind of refreshing, and I think far more interesting to see something that has to start from something so small, from a world so completely different. Uh-huh. The chain is coming from here. Now that I'm getting used to the controls, I don't know how I feel about them. Yeah, come on, you can do it. Because I still don't like them. Oh, I see, there's two. Alright, so we gotta find the other one. It's almost like it's trying to limit you to a certain axis or snap you to move in a certain way. And I don't know if I like that. I prefer freedom, I think. Scalloped hammerhead. Those don't look like scalloped hammerheads. Or maybe I'm thinking of bonnet heads. The little hammerhead sharks with the more round snout. Oh, check that out. A nautilus. The most basal of the cephalopods. That's why we think Nectocaris cannot possibly be a cephalopod. It's too early in the evolutionary tree, and back then, cephalopods were shelled. They had more tentacles, more primitive eyes, like that nautilus you see there. This might be kind of a controversial opinion, but people are always saying, animal enthusiasts, nature enthusiasts, wait, hold on. More nautilus. And leaves, of all things. It's a whole assortment of them here. Yep, wahoo, I was right. Who could have thought? A hawksbill sea turtle. Seems it's like darker, it's got more angular features to its shell. Like I said, I don't know my sea turtles very well, so I couldn't tell them. I couldn't pick them up. I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. Aha, it is a cow nose ray. Oh, I see what they're doing. So it's kind of it's supposed to be brown actually, which cow nose rays can be, but it comes across looking as red in this lighting. That's interesting. So you could argue it's technically not inaccurate, right? That's very cool. Very, very cool how they did it like that artistically. Golden trevally, yeah, which is a type of jack. I think these guys make sounds. They can produce sounds with their air bladder. Keltfish, yeah, that's a different color this time. Although maybe it's just the lighting that's making them look different. Maybe that's like the logic. They can learn. They did a study with them where they subjected them, kind of like basic Pavlovian conditioning. They subjected them to lights and then either positive stimuli or harmful stimuli, and they were able to figure it out and adapt accordingly. Some kind of requiem shark. Silky shark. I believe these guys have like one fatality recorded. They're generally not considered very dangerous to humans. If you think about it, actually, at least to me it seems, not a lot of oceanic animals are true herbivores, but a manatee is a case where it is. Eagle ray. It took me forever to figure this out, but the reason their bodies are like that, I guess it was weirder when I noticed it with stingrays, but the reason their bodies are like that is because the pectoral fins have expanded. So the wings are the pectoral fins, which is like, no shit. But when I first heard that, I was like, oh. Yeah, you can see the silky sharks back there. I had an idea once for a story about some mad scientist on an island. It was kind of a silly story. But one of the things he would have many like creatures that he would genetically modify, right? To keep himself safe on the island. Kind of like Eber, Horror of the Deep. But he would have these requiem sharks that he would have genetically modified to be 80 feet long. And unlike, Megalodon or the mackerel sharks, they can stay still and they can keep breathing. So they could be transported by ship and stuff in the big basins that ships can hold, and they'd just be sitting there chilling, stacked one on top of each other. Again, don't know my corals too well. I think we're probably not going to see stingrays in this playthrough, just because the game seems to want to put everything up in the surface, up in the middle column, swimming around, and puts a lot less attention to things like scuttling around on the bottom. Seems like that's not this game's forte. And we have opened the door. The gate is open. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. Yeah, we can. Ha ha ha. How do you like that? Oh, he looks like he's not happy about it. Oh no, he was just chasing after something. Whoa. This is a real Nantucket sleigh ride. He's acting all crazy. Hey. Gotta be careful, you can end up in tonic immobility if you keep trying to go upside down like that. Alright, he doesn't want to follow. That'd be funny if we could just take him with us the whole way. But thanks for the lift, little guy. I'll take it from here. Oh, that's easier on the eyes. Lionfish. That's no good. They're invasive. Get out of here. Nothing wants to eat them. Parts like these do remind me a lot of Journey to the Center of the Earth, the one from 2010 or whatever the hell it was. I always thought that movie was very aesthetic, although it's not something I watched a ton. It's kind of like something I watched as a kid and then forgot about it. Whoa! Lanternfish, right? Yeah. I had no idea. Oh, there's our buddy. Oh, hold on. I want to look at the lanternfish. I want to talk about lanternfish. Lanternfish make up a huge percentage. That's actually a big great white shark. That's maybe the... Yeah, that thing's not small. Hey, why are you hiding from it? He's scared. That's why he's scared of what I'm going to do to him if I get in the ring with him. I can choke slam him. Did you guys hear that apparently they raised one of the very big species of octopus, like a Pacific octopus or something, from babies, and they had to like make the whole system kind of ad hoc. But yeah, I had no idea lanternfish were that common, because we tend to think of deep sea species as being, more rare. But they're actually a hugely important part of the overall biomass of the ecosystems. What is that? What are those luminous things on the bottom there? I don't know if there's actually any bioluminescent creatures that are just sessile like that on the sea floor. At least I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. little window here. And we are out. Huh. Dead zone. Anyway, I was meaning to communicate an idea about this place. I got interrupted last time. This place looks absolutely huge, but if you think about it, it's probably not actually that big, you know? Like, look around. Like, yeah, this is big, but how tall do you think this is? How wide do you think this structure is, right? Maybe, and consider we're smaller than a human, right? I assume we're maybe like 4 feet tall or something based on the size of the creatures. It's not that big. It's like maybe 300 feet across, 300 feet tall, if that. But it looks huge. And why is that? I think it has to do with resolution, right? I think it has to do with what's around it, right? If nothing else is around it, it's going to look bigger by comparison. If you can ascribe identity to it as one thing easier, it's going to seem bigger to you, kind of like a ship of Theseus, right? If you can draw a boundary around a certain object and call it a single thing, like a boat, it's going to seem bigger to you than something that is harder to find a single identity for, like a neighborhood or something like that. You wouldn't consider that like a single entity in the same way, just because your brain isn't used to thinking that way. What are we going to get? Oh, whale sharks. Nice. I was wondering when they were going to show up. I got a bunch of little sardines there around them or something. Actually, probably a bit big for sardines. There seems to be a lot of variation in whale shark hues. Right now they look pretty slate gray. Sometimes you see them as almost like a very light pastel blue. And we're just going to kind of quickly take a glance through this area and see what all is here. I wonder what that is. I assume it's a brine pool, right? Because that's kind of the only thing that makes sense. I guess there's other liquids that are heavier than water, but those are the only ones I know that exist naturally. Although, like we've been saying, I don't really think anything here is natural. Hello. How about giving your old buddy a lift? Whoa, these things are huge. You know, I've seen videos of like some of the biggest whale sharks, and they actually look about that size, but like with our little protagonist guy being an actual human, which is crazy to me. Oh, they're just swimming right into the brine pool, aren't they? Without a care in the world. You know, you're gonna die, right? You know, these triggerfish are being awfully peaceful. Continuing on with my theory, I am buying my own theory that the behavior, the instinct of these animals has been altered in some way. Maybe it's a sign of God or something. Yeah, yellow long-nosed butterfly fish. Here we go. Oh, some kind of pufferfish there. You know, pufferfish are actually the most derived of the teleos, at least. I was going to say the most derived of fish, but then, you know, here we are. Because they've lost a lot of features. They've lost the pelvic fins completely. Oh, we got a stray barracuda here. Aha, finally. Yellowtail snapper. Yep, there he is. This is what we were seeing by, like, the continental shelf drop-ups and everything before. They are quite a pretty fish. You know, I eat snapper quite a while. I'm fond of snapper. And sometimes when you can get it right, it tastes really, really good. I am not a good cook, but oh, so much for that. You know, barracuda actually eat yellowtail snapper a lot, but see, they taste good, so I'm sure he's enjoying himself. Oh, wow, interesting. Water within water, what the fuck? How would you even make such a thing? Maybe it's just an extension of the brine pool, but the color and the texture and everything seems very different. Oh, we got lights. So it seems that the vase contains something. It's either the secondary pools of fluid that we're seeing down through here and that make up the brine pool, or it's just the act of giving water, giving our essence. Yeah, there it is, our essence in the mural. So I think it's just this act, you know, when we go to like the little Mount Olympus area of giving our essence. There's more of the unicorn fish. And they're spamming nautiluses now. So it seems this is just a thing our people tend to do. At least it's foretold. Yeah, let's have some light. So it seems we had the essence. Oh, look, a little waterfall. Waterfall. This reminds me a lot of the Holy Mountain in the scene where the guy's taking a crap. Just the aesthetics of that place with the little baby hippo they had. It's a good movie. So it seems like we have created this also, and we revere it, like the mega structures. It's a plane. So our figure is standing on top of it. So I interpret that as like we are the masters of these megastructures, which is interesting because they seem aesthetically opposed to the rest of the game, even these parts here. This is the most extended mural scene we've gotten so far, I think. Oh, that looks pretty. You almost forget you're underwater. That just looks like a light that could be coming through. Kind of makes you wish this kind of architecture was more common. Like even nowadays, it makes you wish that we were building stuff like that still. Although it's, there's obviously practical reasons why we don't. Whoa, are those remoras? Look like them. And those look like little hammerhead sharks. Why are we up and down like humans if we're purely aquatic? Are we not purely aquatic? Ha, interesting. The great white shark is above the orca and is above the whale shark. Interesting that this game would choose to deify or centralize the great white shark over the killer whale. Whoa! Coelacanth. Come here. I saw a documentary once on people who were diving for coelacanths. Sorry, coelacanths. And, one of the last of the remaining lobe-finned fish. And, oh, he's going for it. And they're about 400 feet down. And it takes a lot to actually be able to dive that far down safely. It's a very dangerous thing. It was a very dangerous mission they were going on. Scuba diving's pretty sketchy. I have done it, but it's not something I really have any level of experience with. Very unusual tail. They're also interesting because they have one of the largest eggs of any fish, although it's kind of cheating because they give birth to live young, so their eggs are inside of them. So yeah, it looks like these little guys, these were the guys I was referring to earlier. These are bonnet head sharks. There's a remora. You can see he's got the little shoe head to stick on his stuff. Someone caught one on a boat I was on once, and he stuck him right to the roof of the boat, and he just sat there. Oh, interesting. Black clownfish. I wonder if anyone's tried to make an ocean exploration game, and I mean like a good one, an aesthetic one like this, where the depth is actual, where the depth actually reflects the depths of the ocean itself, right? Like if you go off the continental shelf, or if you just hit the bottom before the continental shelf, you might go 600 feet, but to go off the continental shelf and go to the bottom there, that might be like 16,000, 14,000 feet, depending on what ocean you're in. Achilles, surgeonfish. How funny. We've just been talking about the Iliad and the whole epic cycle. Looks like there's been a cave-in. We may have to head out. Yeah, it's completely blocked off. Seems like this story ends here for now. Yeah, so these megastructures are ours, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to open them. Or at least, there may still be a way, but it implies that at least. Alright, what do you got for us? So more of these like luminous deep sea caverns. I don't necessarily know that there's actual biomes that look like this. I'm not complaining, but again, it supports that it's not, maybe it's not actually nature, it's an exaggeration, or it's nature plus things. Oh. Oh. Whoa. It's a baby. Oh, I triggered a cutscene, I think. That is a blue whale. It's amazing how gracile the blue whale is, even though it's the biggest animal alive. It's got that rorqual slimness to it. They're quick, they're built for speed. They don't usually fight. I've seen footage of them fighting each other. Whoa. But they don't fight orcas or things like that, to my knowledge. I think the rorquals just run, except for the humpbacks. Getting some sardines. That's the characteristic grooves of the rorqual. If you see those grooves on a baleen whale, it's a rorqual. This environment is much bigger than the ones that preceded it. There's the humpbacks. Don't care for the humpbacks. I would have skipped the humpbacks. I would not have included the humpbacks. Do another rorqual. Do sei whale. Do bryce whale. Do fin whales. Humpbacks are a little overused. They're a little... Oh, shit. Jonah over here. Christ. You do get a sense of the size there. Look at that. And the blue whale is the largest animal, but it's also a very beautiful animal, even in spite of its size. So, we are fortunate. Seems a little quick for a 100-foot animal, but oh well. I do like the color scheme here. It's oversimplified in a way, but in a way that really works, in a way that it elevates the grace of these beings. I get a kick out of the little, like, DNA double helix when we're kicking stuff up. But damn, they really took us far down. Can blue whales even go that far down? They probably can. Okay. Something's different here. Some kind of deep-sea fish here, but we're definitely... This feels somewhat menacing. What happens if we head towards it? Ow. Let's go somewhere else. Somewhere where I'm appreciated. Alright, watch out, watch out. Get out of there. Get out of there. What is that? Is that a whalefish? Yeah, I think they're whalefish. Goblin shark. Are they going to look normal or are they going to look all contorted? Oh, they look normal. That's good. Are you going to shock them? Why are you just shocking me? There's the bones of a dead rorqual. Damn, so many species I want to check. Although the plot is kind of breathing down our neck at the moment, so we got that to look for. Viperfish. They look a little big for viperfish, but maybe we're smaller than I thought. Out of my way. Viperfish too were one of my favorites as a kid growing up. It would appear that we've got to follow these cables down to effect some change. Here we see a shift. This is the first time we see the aesthetic be outright hostile. Is there something we can do here with this battery? Yeah, there is. Because the megastructure, it seemed aesthetically different, but these triangles are actively trying to prohibit our ingress. Alright, we gotta do a second one. Chimeras, the last remainers of holocephaly. During the Triassic, and about earlier, the waters were dominated not with sharks as we would know them today, but rather by the holocephaly, like these ratfish here, these chimeras. So think of Edestus, think of Helicoprion, all these kind of pseudo-sharks with these weird mouths. That is what dominated back then. Did we already get this? I think we did. Oh no. What are we gonna get? Anglerfish, nice. All females, obviously. It's no fun being a male anglerfish. Ow. Unless we gotta find something else. Is that a blobfish? Yeah, it is. They'll never catch us if we go through the stalagmites. I'd like to see your barrier penetrate this. Alright, get fucked. Triangles. Oh my goodness. What the hell did we just do? Oh, he's going for it. I don't know about that swim animation, though. I feel like it's beating its tail too much for how little it moves. If you look at footage like from the Malibu artists and people like that, or the great whites when they hunt, they maybe beat their tail like maybe 3 times, and you'd be amazed at how much distance they can cover with just that. So great white was clearly waiting for us to do that. You still gotta watch out. What are these guys? Hatchetfish. Oh, will you piss off? You're asking too much from me. Now you're asking to maneuver. Uh-oh. Our little buddy's in a bit of trouble. He's getting his nipples zapped and he's snuffocating. Can't breathe. Because he is a mackerel shark. Hello, little buddy. Ain't you having a sad time? If we wait here long enough, is he just gonna die? He can't breathe. How long can he not breathe for? Alright, fine. I'll help you, because I'm such a nice guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna lift all of that. What the fuck? Okay, we got superpowers, apparently. Fucking Super Saiyan over here. That's right. We're buddies now. That's how it works. Again, too many tail beats. I think it would have to just beat its tail once and then be gone. It's kind of jerky. It's kind of unnatural. Makes you reminds you that you're playing a video game. But that's a small criticism. Actually, it's not that small of a criticism. I do like this game. I like this game a lot. But yeah, do better. The movement of the animals and the fact that that's believable. Sperm whales. Come to me. Okay, this is kind of an extended sequence. We may Squid. Giant squid, not a colossal, because you can tell by the shape of the body. We've got a school of hatchet fish in our way. Now, if I'm remembering this game correctly... Yeah, they're green. What the hell? First of all, I haven't known squid to be green. Like, I know they can change color, but I've never seen them change their color to green. They can't change their color to whatever. They're actually limited in what they can actually change it to. Will you get over here? It's very cool. I think the biggest eye of any animal. The only time I've seen a giant squid described as green was in the novel Sphere, and that was an interesting section. I didn't like the novel too much. It's a Michael Crichton novel. Whoa. I wish I was the squid. I'll probably rant about this later, but there's a Nautilus at the bottom. But, I approve of the game's aesthetics, I approve of the game's pacing, I approve of the game's general sequence and set pieces. I don't approve... Is that a Humboldt squid? I would think so. What I don't approve of necessarily is this narrative it's got with the protagonist and everything. I would maybe go for something a little weirder. What are we gonna get this time? Oh yeah, giant squid. This one I did remember. Nice. For some reason, obviously cephalopods, they don't use hemoglobin, they use hemocyanin. So their blood is, or copper is the oxygen carrying material, not iron. For some reason, that means they are extraordinarily sensitive to copper in the water. So if you have them in an aquarium, they cannot have copper of any kind. You'll kill them quick with that. If you put iron in the water of fish, does that kill them like instantly? Is that like super toxic to them? I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna call the game's bullshit out on here a little bit. I don't think there is such thing as, you know, blood kelp or white kelp or any kind of kelp that would be this deep. I think they're ripping off Subnautica. Yup. Some set pieces here that look clearly inspired, arguably done better than in Subnautica, at least from an aesthetic point of view, but sure seems like it. Alright, so there should be a meditation station here. I might go back and explore a little bit, but I think we're going to call it here for this portion of ABZU. So I will see you guys next time. I don't know how much longer to the game there's left, but we're going to finish the game. I might explore a little bit, and that'll be it for ABZU. So yeah, see you guys.